it gets in the house. Let's see what it is. Hit the follow button. James is on the road to 10K, if you will. Hey, thank you. Highly appreciate that. Highly appreciate that. You guys are over here looking. I know it. I know you guys are looking. Where's James go for these links at? You're at 9,466. Thank you, man. Almost
will gain some restitution.
Okay, look. So this is going on right now. I have two options. I'm gonna give you guys the options. Okay, I could run it right now. It's live right now. Okay, or I could go back to the beginning so we could watch all of it. What do you guys want to do? Do you guys want to start off right here where we're at right now, or do you want me to run it from the beginning? This hearing's been on for damn, it's been on for 6 hours, six and a half hours. All of it. Run it. Okay, hey, everybody, keep it live. Keep it. Okay. I don't know. What should I do? Beginning, live. What should I do? Where this is Connecticut. All right, we'll run it live.
But what do you think are your best qualities?
I believe
what do you have that will make you successful?
What do I have that will make me successful is my determination and my will to succeed. My desire to succeed, my desire to be looked upon in a positive way again. I hurt a lot of people and I've disappointed a lot of people. And, I embarrassed a lot of people and I hurt a lot of people. So my biggest redeeming quality is I feel like I have to do whatever's required to regain some respect, whether it be from the victims, whether it be from my family, whether it be from society as a whole. I want people to be able to say, well, that guy, he fell down, but, he found a way to get back up and he's doing well. And, he's working hard to pay restitution. At the very least, I want people to say, you know what? He didn't let this incarceration define him. He didn't let the circumstance define him, because a lot of times you can let your circumstance deflate you, or you can let them define you. And, my redeeming quality is I refuse to let this situation define me. And I will be successful. I will pay the victims back. And I will be looked upon at some point as, in a positive manner, as someone influential, as someone loved.
One last question. Do you still own a home? Do you still own properties?
No, I don't.
No? Okay. All right. Thank you. I have no further questions.
Your banner is in his face.
Mr. Smith, do you have a gambling problem?
Yes, ma'am.
What about now?
What have you done to address it? And I don't want to hear about tier 2 because they have gambling anonymous programs.
Before coming to jail, I didn't do much other than I went to GA a few times. Other than that, I didn't do much to address it. But I know going forward, when I get out, I plan on attending these classes, going to GA regularly.
Oh, shit.
I plan on banning myself from the casinos. And I don't know if I can.
You're going to do that?
I'm going to do that immediately. As soon as I get out.
How are you going to ban yourself?
I believe I can either make a call to the casinos and let them know who I am, or maybe write a letter down there. I don't know what the process is, but I'll figure out whatever it is. I'll work with maybe a parole officer or whoever I can to figure out how I can ban myself. I don't know what the process is, but I'll make sure that it's done. I had already planned on doing that.
Here's what's concerning Mr. Smith. When my colleague, Ms. Smith-Palmieri, and the parole officer asked you to identify a high risk for you, and you said there was none. So to me, that means you are just sort of clueless about what risky situations are out there that you're going to go out and encounter almost every day. And as she said, There's casinos, all kinds of online gambling, buying tons of lottery tickets. I look at all of that as gambling. And I was hoping to hear you say, I am going to connect with Gambling Anonymous. I'm going to get myself a sponsor just in case I have one of those urges or cravings to go and do some gambling. And so those are the concerning things for me that I didn't hear you talk about when my colleague asked you all those questions. And before I, go any further, I just want to say I'm sorry to hear about the death of your mom and your uncle and your cousin.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, those are concerning areas for me. And so I think you need to spend time really thinking about what makes you want to go and gamble, because those feelings and thoughts don't just disappear. You have to figure out how you're going to manage that.
Yeah, the only reason why I didn't understand, I had misunderstood what she was saying about risk. I didn't understand, because that's when I went into tier 2, because we run all. I know you said you don't want to hear about tier 2, but that's when I went into. Yes, I planned on banning myself from the casino, having a sponsor, and then I learned about triggers, and I do know that there's all this online gambling, and I see it on TV when I'm watching March Madness. I see all this stuff, but gambling right now is so far. I know that it's in the back of my mind and all these things there, but it's the last thing I want to do. Gambling has gotten me into so much trouble, and it's got me in this situation that I'm in right now. So
you heard me talk about those urges and cravings that can come up any minute. Those are the same things that they identify in tier 2. You need to know what your urges and your cravings are and what things trigger you to want to jump in your car or want to go somewhere where you can make a bet.
Yes, ma'am. That's exactly what we covered in tier 2. And that's why I mentioned earlier when I mentioned tier 2, I mentioned how important that tier 2 was for me, and how it really helped me to see and understand these things. And I did mention it earlier that tier 2 allowed me to see the triggers. It allowed me to see, wow, my buddy would call me and say, hey, let's take a ride to the casino. Or somebody would say, hey, let's go do fantasy football or something along those lines. And the tier 2 program really helped to bring those things out, and it helped me to identify the things that I didn't see in the past. I didn't really pay attention to it, but the tier 2 program really allowed me to see it. And the only reason that I didn't bring it up initially, I had misunderstood what she had said earlier.
I got it.
But I just want you guys to know that I absolutely understand that I have a problem, and I'm going to do everything in my power, to address that gambling once out of here. Even while in jail, even while I was in here, there's even gambling going on in here that I absolutely don't participate in. And those same triggers are going on right here in the dorms every single day. Guys are gambling. They got poker games. They got all type of stuff going on. And I don't gamble. What I do is I read. I go and I sit down. I meditate. I get up in the morning, and there's a book that I read called Word of the Day. It's about a positive word of the day, and I'll read that. I also read a book called Atomic. I didn't get a chance to get to it. I read a book called Atomic Habits. It's by James Clear, and it talked about your habits. So I've done things myself to help me, and what it does is it teaches you how to take it teaches you how to create positive habits. And like taking little steps to create positive habits. It's a book called Atomic Habits by James Clear. That was one of the books that I read and here to help me with the actual gambling addiction. I also read a book called The Power of Positive Energy by Tanaz Chubb, and it's about just viewing everything positively. So I've done steps in jail and things here to help me address the gambling. And I don't participate. I don't even play cards. The guys say they want to play spades. I'm addressing my gambling here. I won't even play spades. I won't play spades. I don't play any cards at all. I go to work. Most of my day, I get up.
We get it, Mr. Smith.
I'm sorry. I apologize. I just want to make sure that you understand that I am taking steps to, thank you.
Okay. All right. So we're going to deliberate on the record now, and we'll let you know.
All right. His last name was Smith, right? She said. I'm gonna look him up. I want to see how many people are left on this hearing.
So
let me see here. Connecticut.
it's a very difficult case. It's a financial case. It involves Mr. Smith manipulating the two victims out of a total of $468,000.
Damn. What?
He basically gambled it all the way.
What?
And then while he was out on pretrial, he had some more troubles where he was sued. It's the same kind of like behaviors.
Yeah, you guys know what I could do with $500,000
for risk to recidivate. He has no criminal history. He's done the Voices program. He did the Tier 2 program. He's had a job. He has no disciplinary reports. He has support in the community.
Smith.
No, I do think that Mr. Smith has the ability to pay restitution. I know it's not for us to determine, today whether or not that will actually happen or not. It's to determine suitability for parole. It's not a case where we get input necessarily from the victims. There is great harm to both victims. As I said to Mr. Smith, the elderly victims lost their retirement, sell their home.
That's out the window right
living
there.
in a rental.
Wow.
The other victims, took money that they had saved. They had 2 children, adopted one of the sister's children. Really put them in financial constraints. However,
go to the club. Wow.
Do you think that Mr. Smith has the ability to go out, be gainfully employed, make restitution? It's disappointing in some respects.
I like that, Christy. The golden toilet, right?
That he didn't do any gambling treatment prior to being sentenced. I think it would have placed him in a much better space in terms of his rehabilitation or his addiction.
Not long enough. What's up,
So
Tracy?
I had come in today not really thinking that Mr. Smith was suitable for parole due to the harm to the victims. But when we do look at suitability for release, I think that Mr. Smith does meet the criteria. So I would be in favor of granting.
Oh, we got one yes.
I agree. Everything that in reviewing the file, everything you said, it's there's no criminal history here. It rates out low. State appropriate programming. He was sentenced to a sentence that is eligible for parole at 50%.
I don't know.
He hasn't done anything that, for me, would make him unsuitable for parole. So be supporting parole.
Okay. Granted, he is suitable, but I'm going to oppose based on the nature and circumstances of the offense.
Thank you for that.
So it'll be
he can't hear them.
majority.
He could hear them talking. He
He
can't hear us, but he could hear them.
Well, they did not confirm his release, so he needs a halfway house, mental health evaluation and treatment. He's a 2, but a lot of times gambling falls under that.
Yeah.
No contact with the victims. I only wrote one of the victims' names down, MWM. I did not write the couple's name down, unfortunately.
They're
Do you have
right
that in
here.
here?
Halfway house is it's a reentry home. So when he gets out of prison, he has to go to this house where he has to live at for X amount of time, 6 months, a year, or whatever, and he has to follow the rules and whatever guidelines they got. And then once
You said mental health evaluation treatment, no contact with victims.
Thank you, Tracy.
Halfway
Appreciate it.
house. Wrote those names down. I just don't know.
But you guys know what I could do with $500,000? I probably wouldn't have to work for the rest of my life. I would move off. Maybe I'll move to like Thailand or the Philippines or something, and I'll be living lavishly with my family and all, man. Shh. My wife would never have to cook again. Shh. And this fool blew it at the casino. Let me see. You gotta get your dream home, right? For reals. So they let him go. Facts.
So
The
there
creeper
was
is always.
the husband and wife with
Yes.
256,500, and then the other victim that was 212,367. So there was a husband and wife, and
Yeah,
then
give me a second.
Man, that's
I
crazy.
just got bumped out of these notes.
This chat is on
I know
fire.
it just threw me out too.
He's creepy. Hey man, you guys got me cracking up on the chat. You guys be definitely coming through with the comments and whatnot. You guys are definitely some witty ones. And shout out to everybody, wherever you guys are tuning in from, the U.S., UK, Ireland, Dublin, wherever
It
and
just threw
everywhere,
me out again.
if you will. 2 victims, not one.
Yeah.
And they were elderly,
Yeah.
which is the worst.
Well,
Like how,
that's-
like
Yeah,
that's
that's.
Yeah, I have that one.
I have that.
he took advantage of some elderly people. He milked them for over $400,000,
Is something wrong with case notes?
and he gambled it all at the casino.
Today. Yeah, they're on Wi-Fi.
It's
Like me, it doesn't make any sense. It don't compute. Like I know, I'm pretty sure it wasn't all at one hit. It was all at one time. It was probably like in increments, maybe like 50,000, 40,000 or whatever.
Are you in? Can you look on the victim's tab?
But if I ever came across,
Hold on one second.
50% case.
if I ever came
That's
across that type of
right.
money, you better believe I'm not gonna be going to the casino. That'll be
Yeah.
the last thing on my mind.
PSI right now for this.
They usually don't list the names.
It's not.
They don't put them in there either.
And then he expects to win. Like, come on, like really? Come on, you just came up on a whole bunch of money and you go blow it at the casino. Like, make that make sense. Like, what world are you
I'll look
living
for-
in?
Maybe we can go back on the record and add them.
They trusted him. Yeah, that is true. This
At a later time, yes. So I'll just give the victim
Thank you
WM.
for that. What is it? Is that
Okay.
Kel? Thank you, Kel.
Here we go.
The house always
CG
wins.
and MG.
Addiction is real. Yeah. That's why. Hey,
Yeah,
you know
that's
what's my
the problem.
addiction? I'm gonna
Yeah.
tell you what my addiction is: cookies and milk.
Okay.
You put a
So
bowl.
the case of Travis Smith, inmate number 440513, there's a majority decision to grant discretionary parole
Oh damn.
on or after July 12th, 2025, with the following conditions. No contact with victims WM, and no contact with victims CG and MG. Mental health evaluation and treatment as deemed necessary, and release to a halfway house if needed.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?
Aye.
So it's a majority grant.
There it is.
So you're granted on or after July 12th, 2025, Mr. Smith.
Always
Right, so
Thank
this
you.
concludes the hearing for Travis Smith, number 440513. Mr. Smith, you will get a copy of this disposition in the mail. Thank you.
Thank you.
Damn, that's all bad right there. Hey, and I'm gonna ask you guys for a favor. Nah, don't trip. I don't need any money. I don't need you guys to send me any green dots or gifts or anything like that. But I do need you guys to hit that follow button here, and also if you could go ahead and follow me over here on
Is that not the one
YT.
you want to see? Which one you want to see next?
Anyone?
Oh, I know.
If you guys could follow me at this other account here at CollectCallFrom, I would really appreciate it. Trying to get to 10,000 followers over there also. So any bit that you guys could do, I would highly appreciate it. Next. What do you guys think this guy did? I'm about to look him up as soon as they announce his name right here. Let's see what it is. How much for the stick?
Which
Hey, you know
means-
what?
Paul Mignani, Mignani,
Majani.
With you one
441.
moment. Thank
Sorry.
you.
Hey, I'm gonna make some stickers as soon as I get them because I don't have any more of these. These ones don't even work anymore. They're all dirty and from the back. I sent out all the stickers I had, but I'm gonna make some this week coming up, and then I'll go ahead and let you guys know how you guys could get a hold of them. Let me see. Cookie and SA thumbs up. Let me see. Let me look this fool up. I have his information right here. As a matter of fact, let me see. I can't even see. Let me zoom in. Paul Christopher. This is gonna be his inmate number. If you guys want to look him up, all right. It's gonna be 441480. First name is gonna be Paul. P is in Paul. AUL. Last name is gonna be MIGNANI. If you will, if you want to look him up before the court starts. So like that, you know what we're getting into today. Let me see. The Crypt Keeper needs to do an evil. Let me look this vato. Let's see what he got arrested for. Arrested in Connecticut. Let's see, Connecticut. Let's see.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you, Steve, for putting that up on the. Highly appreciate that. Let me see. Danbury man violates release,
are.
gets more prison time. No, hold on. Is this him?
Good afternoon. My name is Parole Supervisor Brooks. Today it is Tuesday, March 25th, 2025, and this is a hearing of the Connecticut Board of Pardons and Paroles. The following board members are present this afternoon and by stating their names on the record, certified they have reviewed all statutorily required documents and available pertinent information in preparation for this hearing.
Good afternoon, Joy Chance.
Good afternoon, Mike Paul.
Deborah Smith Palmieri.
Please state your name and inmate number for the record.
Paul Mignani, 441480.
This hearing is being conducted in consideration of the parole application for Paul Mignani, number 441480. He is serving a sentence of 15 years, suspended after 6 years with 5 years probation for criminal possession of a firearm, sale of narcotics, and possession with intent. As of today, records reflect a parole eligibility date of August 11th, 2025. There is no victim input in this case. There is an offender accountability plan for the offender. It has been reviewed and shows that the offender has completed voices and is currently working. Utilizing the statewide, I'm sorry?
I'm sorry, I said correct, yes.
Utilizing the statewide collaborative offender risk evaluation system scores, the offender's overall score for recidivating falls within the moderate range. This is your opportunity, Mr. Mignani, to express to the board why you believe you should be granted parole. You may begin.
Thank you. I'd like to start by thanking the board today for the opportunity to be here. I believe I deserve parole because I have always been active and a hard worker in the community. And now with this time being incarcerated, I am ready and I have taken responsibility for my poor actions in my life. In preparing for taking the proper and necessary step for outside success, I have completed the Voices program and am currently working, and I am utilizing the Tier 4 program to maximize my understanding of my past behavior and what brought myself here. I believe I have paid my debt to society, and the only way now is to peer into the rear view and see the parts of my past that will always remain there, but now I can look clearly on through the windshield that is my future and be an upstanding member of my community and be able to share my story and let people know life can be and is manageable, that there are no shortcuts in life, drugs do not solve the problem, and that you can't have freedom without responsibility. I also have written a relapse prevention plan to prepare myself to live a balanced life and the possibility of leaving a legacy carried on to my children and my grandchildren. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mignani, for your opening comments.
What do you guys rate that?
Questions of our own.
What do you guys rate
we'll
his?
Each take turns and then we'll deliberate and then get back with you. And Mr.
Okay.
Cole will begin with the question.
Okay.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Mignani, did you just say that you are in Tier 4 right now?
Yes, I am, sir. I'm actually ready to graduate in about 2.5 weeks. April 16th to be exact, to be honest with you.
April
As long
16th.
as there's no hiccups. I've been in about 7 months now.
So you graduate in a couple of weeks, so like mid-April.
Yes,
And
Thank you.
that's after taking tier 2? You went.
I didn't take tier 2. I went right to tier 4. I was told to take tier 2, and when I talked to the counselors down there, Miss Rogers and the other counselors,
Yep.
They asked me if I was interested in maximizing my, ability to learn what I needed to learn, and I did not object in any way, and I took the tier 4 program. I started September 3rd.
Okay, so that makes there's just an error in our information in that we thought you were in tier 2 and going to be done on March 20th.
No,
But you'll be mid-April. So
correct.
Obviously, you're dealing with a couple of really heavy drugs.
I was dealing, yes, sir.
So here's the thing. What have you learned in tier 4 that's going to help you when you're released in the community?
For me, the drugs, like I said, aren't the answers. I need to know that I can ask for help is the main thing for me. I always thought I could handle things on my own, but I became isolated, and I didn't ask for help. I didn't seek a mentor or a sponsor. I've been doing AA and A programs at least 4 to 5 times a week. Outside speakers as well as in the community itself in the unit. And I have no use for the drugs or have anything to use for, or need for them anymore, knowing that they're not helping me. It just made my life a disgrace in the last, my first incarceration was after I was 50 years old. So I'm ashamed of myself and to my family that this is what happened to me, and I let drugs take over over my life.
All right, and so you took voices as well, right?
Correct.
And that's some of what I'm hearing right now from you in your description of what happened out there and some of the things you're thinking about inside. You have a federal sentence that is 18 months consecutive to this, right?
Correct.
So when you so do you have a recovery plan for when you're in the community? You said
yes, I do. I wrote it.
There's a couple of things, right? So when I asked you about what you learned in tier 4, you said ask for help. I'd like to know from who, and then like what is your plan in the community?
My plan is going to be to get a job, go to work, start being part of my community, join social groups, go to meetings, get a sponsor or mentor, set some goals for myself, stay away from people, places, and things that are put me in bad situations that cause my triggers or any kind of cravings that I may have. Stay away from old friends that were negative and not good for me, because I need to start fresh with positive people in my life. Not be around old friends, old girlfriends that I allow to myself to bring myself down. I want to help other people that are out there. I've worked all my life. I never even took a drug in my life until I was probably 48 years old. And it was, I don't even have an excuse, to be honest with you. It just was stupidity. And I don't know why I did it. Codependency, inappropriate relationships I'll use. They're not excuses. I allowed myself into them, which brought myself down. But out in the community, like I said, I'm definitely going to work hard. Always plan ahead. Always be prepared for the unexpected. Be aware. It's a lot easier to cope with something when I'm aware of the situation and step back and think before I react or act on any situation. Learn not to make seemingly unimportant decisions and things like that.
It looks like somebody's calling BS on his statement there. They don't believe him. What do you guys
It's
think?
one just big mess with drugs. So, how's your relationship with your son?
My son, well, I have 3 boys. I have excellent communication with all 3 of them. My youngest one is 18. My second one is 22. My oldest one is 32.
So you're going to Brookfield with your 32-year-old?
Correct. He lives there with his wife and and my new granddaughter.
Damn, I wouldn't want to be in prison at that age, man. I wouldn't want to be in prison at 45. Am I 44 or 45? I'm 44. I wouldn't want to be in prison at 44.
I have no
Hell
follow-up.
no.
I don't have any
This is
questions.
Connecticut, yep.
So we're going to deliberate and give you our answer.
Okay, thank you.
I'll give him a chance, but I
Madam
wouldn't
Chair,
feel confident about it.
It's a hot mess,
I don't know.
but,
Dang, already.
because we have a parole eligibility date in August, we have 100% date in March of 2028. And we
He ain't
have
going
2
home.
months consecutive on a
And-
federal violation of probation conviction.
Keith writes,
Which brings us to August of 26, February of 27. So he's going to go to the feds, he's going to come back, and he's still going to be on parole here. So, I mean, everything that he's done, I think what he's gone through Tier 4, which is a really important program to go through. I think there'd be some more opportunity during the 18 months he's in federal custody to do more programming. He's got a recovery plan. He was able to, what he took from Tier 4. His recovery plan, number 4 and 5 were sponsored mentor and meetings, which should be number 1 and 2, because if they aren't number 1 and 2,
Right.
1, 2, and 3 are going to be out the window the next time
Right.
you use heroin or cocaine.
Exactly.
He's done a good job. He's worked as a clerk in the chapel, which is a good position to be in. So I would support his parole to a scheduled detainer. And the only thing that I have is there was a codefendant listed as Don Gonzalez
Right,
in Halfway House because it's going on federal detainer.
right. So, we're supposed to have it until August 11th.
Right?
We can't,
No,
we cannot do that. So he's gonna have to stay with us till August and then go.
yes.
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
I just want to make sure he knows. I felt him. So,
so he ain't going anywhere. If you will.
co-defendant, halfway house, and to his federal detainer.
Yep.
Paul Mignani, inmate number 441480. There is a motion to grant discretionary parole on or after August 11, 2025 with standard parole conditions and the following conditions. No contact with co-defendant Don Gonzalez, adding a halfway house, and release to his federal detainer.
Second.
Do I have a second? All
Aye.
those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. The motion is granted. Mr. McNally, good luck.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bias.
And thank you, everybody.
This
I'm all
is
set.
Paul Mignani, number 441480. You are free to go. You'll get a copy of the disposition in the mail. If you could have the officer send in the next person. Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't blame him.
I think I have to write something on it.
Oh, okay.
I don't blame him that he's not happy
Thank
he don't look happy, because at the end of the day he's gonna go to prison anyway. He's gonna go to the federal system now.
I think Michael do a little bit. Yeah.
He has to finish up
Yeah,
whatever
too.
time.
Yeah, the last guy is, oh, Joy, you have
Well,
two.
both
Next.
You have one of them?
No.
Let's
All
see.
right. How do I know if I'm muted or not?
Afternoon. My name is Denzel Caldwell.
Denzel. We
Sorry.
got Denzel in the house.
Your name is what, I'm sorry?
Caldwell.
Denzel Caldwell.
Denzel. Where's Denzel at? Okay, then Cadwell.
We'll be right with you next.
CADWELL. Denzel is his first name. Inmate number is going to be 443861 if you guys want to look him up before it starts up. So the other guy that just left
Good
right now.
afternoon. My name is Parole Supervisor Brooks. Today is Tuesday, March
Can you see my
25th,
comments?
2025, and this is a hearing of the Connecticut Board of Pardons and Paroles. The following board members are present this afternoon, and by stating their names on the record, certify if they have reviewed all statutorily required documents and available pertinent information in preparing for this hearing.
Good afternoon, Joy Chance.
Good afternoon, Mike Paul.
Deborah Smith Palmieri.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you. Please state your name and inmate number for the record.
Denzel Caldwell, 443861.
This hearing is being conducted in consideration of the parole application for Denzel Caldwell, 443861. He is serving a sentence of 10 years, suspended after 34 months with 3 years probation for criminal possession of a firearm. As of today's records, his parole eligibility date is reflected as September 5th, 2025. There is no victim input in this case. There is an offender accountability plan for this offender that has been reviewed and shows that he has completed the following programs: Embracing Fatherhood and Tier 2. Utilizing the statewide collaborative offender risk evaluation system scores, the offender's overall score to recidivate falls within the very high range. This is your opportunity, Mr. Caldwell, to express to the board why you believe you should be granted parole. You may begin.
Mr. Caldwell, before you start, is that I have 9/24, but you said 25. Can you check it for me, please?
This says 9/25.
You can check it, we can go, right? She's looking.
Okay. Your status. Okay, so it looks like 9/10/24 according to the disc. So I guess the script is incorrect.
Right, it will make a difference depending on what we do, so that's
Yeah,
why.
so it appears to be parole eligibility date of September 2024.
Okay, all right, thank you. Go ahead, Mr. Caldwell.
All right. Good afternoon. I would like to start by saying thank you for taking the time to review my case, and I understand parole is a privilege and not a guarantee. Secondly, I would like to apologize to my community and family for my actions and reckless behavior. While locked up, I was sent to Chester High Bond Block, and that was a real eye-opener that this could have easily been the rest of my life. I met people while working in the kitchen who are serving life, and a lot of them sat down and told me if I don't change my mindset and my surroundings, I would be exactly like them in 5 years, wishing I would have listened. After getting sentenced, I took Tier 2 in Embracing Fatherhood. Tier 2 told me that I had a problem. I thought because I wasn't forcing no one to buy drugs or serving kids that it was okay, but by me making it available to them, I was part of the problem and helping destroy families. And if it wasn't for selling drugs, I would not need to carry a gun. I realized addiction is a mental health problem and I have a problem myself. I worked on coping skills and there are other ways to deal with my problems without relying on drugs, and it's okay to ask for help. Embracing Fatherhood taught me that being there is only half the step. The emotional well-being of your kids is just as important. I have 2 kids, a 7-year-old and a 2-year-old, and right now I'm letting them down because I am not there to create a safe and stable environment. If granted parole, I have a real supportive family who is willing to accept me into their home and help me get into Porter and Chester for my electrician license, and a manager who is willing to accept me back into Bizzuto's with shifts that help me make time for school. I will be staying in Hamden, Connecticut, and I feel parole is best for me re-entering the community because I will have some structure like a curfew, and having a check-in weekly will help me stay on track my first few months home. Thank you for your time.
Can you clarify, what were you gonna do at Porter and Chester?
My electrician license.
Well, Mr. Caldwell, I certainly appreciate the time that you took to write your statement and to share it with us today. And where did you get the gun?
But I brought it off the streets
Why?
because due to my environment that I was living in, and what I was participating in, I felt like it was for my safety.
So in other words, because you were selling drugs, you felt you needed a gun.
Yes, ma'am.
So now that you know the dangers of selling drugs and the harm it does to people, you know you don't need a gun.
Yes, ma'am. I realized that. Yes, ma'am. I realized that carrying a gun was just putting myself in even more harm's way because I could easily have took somebody's life, and I would ruin two lives, their lives and mine.
Did I miss anything?
So you talked a bit about tier 2. Go over a little bit more about how tier 2 has changed your thinking about not just using but selling drugs and the impact on your community.
Well, I realized more that like drugs is a mental addiction. So because you think that you're taking the drugs that, oh, I'm just coping with my feelings, you're not really coping with none of your feelings. You're just suppressing them that later it'll rub bad. Then being incarcerated, I met people who OD and stuff like that, and talking to them, I realized that by me being there to sell the drugs, I'm enabling them. I seen people that I love and grew up with while I was incarcerated die due to doing perks, and then it turns into doing dope, and I just don't want to be a part of that. And then I said that I learned that I had a problem because I thought just because I was using weed and drinking that it wasn't affecting me, but it did affect me. It made me not express my feelings or talk certain things out that I had suppressed. So when I came to jail and I became sober, I was dealing with a lot of problems, and I didn't know how to cope with it because I always used drugs to cope with my problems. So I had to learn how to cope.
So you have a big birthday this year.
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm hoping that this incarceration has helped your brains to develop by getting you to understand the danger of selling drugs, using drugs, and being in possession of a gun.
Yes, ma'am. I was 22 when I came to jail. I didn't know. I thought I knew everything, but coming to jail, it opened my mind that it's a lot that I still haven't experienced.
Yes, so you have certainly expressed some good insight here. So you had the 2 previous failed community releases. Why do you think that was?
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
You failed on 2 previous community releases. Why?
Damn.
Oh,
I think they were conditional discharges.
Yeah, I had conditional discharge. So I feel like at that time, I was still growing up, and I thought I'd never been through nothing serious as far as being like taken away from my family or being like locked away. So it was a game to me, I'm not gonna lie. But me going to Cheshire and meeting people that are never coming home or that's their home, it opened my eyes like this could easily be me. So now me knowing that, I feel like it's in my head. Like every day I wake up, like I gotta do better.
So you've been previously employed at Bazoodas and Jordan Furniture.
Yes,
and you
ma'am.
also have some forklift training.
Yes, ma'am.
So you've indicated that you can go back to Bazoodas.
Yes, I have a manager, Mike Belusha, who I've been in contact with that is willing to give me a second chance.
Okay, and you contacted him? And he that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so your release plan is to work at Bazoodas. You want to return to school and become an electrician. But in the meantime, are you aware that there are community-based programs that might be able to help you financially with that?
My aunt, the lady who else I'm going to, she's been talking to me like on the phone, explaining like that with being on parole and stuff, that I will be given opportunities where they might have a program for me to go complete to further that.
Okay, that's your aunt in Hamden?
Aunt Dolores, her name is Dolores
Yeah.
Robinson. That's in Trevor Street in Hamden, Connecticut.
Right, in Hamden, yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you have 2 children.
Yes, ma'am. I have a 7-year-old daughter, Kamora James, and I just had a son. He's 2. His name is Denzel Cuovo. He's a junior.
Okay, very good. So you have to start doing positive things so that your children can look up to you and want to be like you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and I know you also said you want to be a better father. So while you're out in the community, you might also, look up maybe a fatherhood program that you can participate in, because it sounds to me like you got a wake-up call from being in this incarceration, and then listening to the elderly, others who are there that are advising you that you're going to be like them if you don't do something positive.
Yes, ma'am.
So it seems to me that you've been given some encouragement and you've completed some programs that you seem to be on the right track.
Thank you.
Okay. Do you know if the gun that you had was ever fired or if it harmed anyone in the community?
No, ma'am. I wasn't really sure about that. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't thinking, like around that time, my mindset was only what was in front of me.
Okay. Well, that should be something that you might want to think of so that you never want to go out and buy a gun.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. I have no further questions for you, Mr. Calder. Let me see what my colleagues.
I have no follow-up.
So,
Madam Chair, we're all set on this.
okay. So, Mr. Caldwell received 1 ticket for interfering with safety and security. Besides that, I know he completed the tier 2 program, and embracing fatherhood. What I liked about what Mr. Caldwell says was the impact that the tier 2 had on him, along with his conversation with other older inmates that were there, which sometimes is really a good way for a younger person to learn about what the real deal is. And he seemed to have picked this up and taking it serious. And he has a good release plan. I know he previously completed a treatment program in 2014. And at age 14 and 15 was when he used marijuana and Xanax. He seems to be on the right track. He has a sponsor, someone who can guide him. Sheila's already given him some ideas about where he can get help in the community. So I see all of that as positive. He has a job. He, currently has forklift experience in case he has to fall back on something. And most importantly, he wants to go to school to be an electrician, not a CDL driver. So I'm willing to give Mr. Caldwell an opportunity to go back in the community.
Hey, Ashley, thank you. Highly
As am
appreciate
I.
that.
And the only thing I would add to that is Mr. Caldwell identified as a high risk old friends. And I think that is significant for him, that old friends are where he's got into all this other stuff with. So if he
Thank you, Zigzag.
stays on track, takes care of his children, he'll be successful.
Okay, and I only have standard parole conditions.
So do I.
don't have anything else.
Standard.
Okay, so Denzel Caldwell, inmate number 443861. There's a motion to grant discretionary parole on or after March 25th, 2025 with standard parole conditions. Do I have a second? All
Thank you,
those in
Wendy.
favor?
Aye.
I vote aye, motion carries. Mr. Caldwell, good luck, and we do not want to see you back here.
Okay, thank you. Wendy, I got a question. I have one
Go
question.
ahead.
So, so what's the next step now? Is somebody gonna reach out to me?
And you'll get everything in writing.
Okay. Have a great day.
Okay.
This concludes the hearing for Denzel Caldwell, number 443861.
Hey, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'd rather have this guy go home than the guy they let go home last week on Friday. That case was all bad. He had you know, the usual, you know, just normal crimes.
Otherwise,
He had a gun and some rugs.
this has got to be the last guy that needs the interpreter, right?
What's your name, sir?
Ah, this is gonna be a long one.
Tu nombre?
Edwin.
Edwin,
That's the one.
I'll interpret.
Leon Guerrero?
Sí.
See.
Okay, un momento, por favor.
Oh, she knows Spanish. She knows Espanol. Oh, that's what's up. Let's see. Hey, so I'm gonna give you guys a heads up. I'm gonna be on for like about another 30-40 minutes or so. I gotta get going. Once I cut the stream, I'm gonna ask you guys to jump over to YT. I'm gonna have the stream running on YT. If you guys want to continue watching, I'm gonna start over from the beginning because we only caught the tail end of the stream. So if you want to catch the whole stream, damn, this is a long one today. They had a long roster
Good
today.
afternoon. We are going to begin with the interpreters.
It's at CollectCallFrom. Is
Good
the same?
afternoon.
You see up here?
We are going to begin with the interpreters oath.
At CollectCallFrom.
Please raise your right hand. I do solemnly swear or sincerely affirm, as the case may be, that you will faithfully discharge according to law your duties as the interpreter to the best of your ability.
Thank you guys for tuning in.
Perjury, I don't, okay. All right, I'll put it in.
I gotta check the Friday one. That Friday one was crazy. They had the
Good
Wizinator.
afternoon. My name is Parole Supervisor Brooks. Today is Tuesday, March 25th, 2025, and this is the hearing of the Connecticut Board of Pardons and Paroles. The following board members are present this morning and, by stating their names on the record, certified they have reviewed all statutorily required documents and available pertinent information in preparation for this hearing.
Good afternoon, George Yance.
Good afternoon, Mike Paul.
Deborah Smith Palmieri.
Please state your name and inmate number for the record.
Buenas tardes, soy la supervisora de libertad condicional Fruits. Hoy es martes 25 de marzo del 2025 y esta es una audiencia de la Junta de Cultos y Libertad Condicional de Connecticut. Los siguientes miembros de la Junta están presentes esta tarde y al decir sus nombres en el registro, certifican haber revisado todos los documentos legalmente requeridos e información pertinente disponible en preparación a esta audiencia. Favor decir su nombre y número de confinado para el registro.
Edwin León Guerrero. Mi número es 395902.
He sounds Puerto Rican.
This hearing is being conducted in consideration of the parole application for Edwin Leon Guerrero, number 395902. He is serving a sentence of 10 years, suspended after 30 months, 5 years probation for burglary third, arson third, and 2 counts of failure to appear first.
Did they say arson?
Esta audiencia se está llevando a
I
cabo
heard
en
the
consideración
burglary.
a la aplicación de libertad condicional de Edwin León Guerrero, número 395902. Él está sirviendo una sentencia de 10 años suspendido luego de 30 meses de prisión, seguido de 5 años de libertad provisional por robo en tercer grado, incendio provocado en tercer grado y 2 cargos de fallo a comparecer en primer grado.
As of today, records reflect a parole eligibility date of December 26, 2024. There is no victim input in this case. There is an offender accountability plan for the offender. It has been reviewed and shows that the offender has completed the following programs: domestic violence, utilizing the statewide collaborative offender risk evaluation system scores. The offender's overall score for recidivating falls within the high range.
Hey, he
Hasta el
can't.
día de hoy, los expedientes reflejan una fecha de elegibilidad para libertad condicional del 26 de diciembre del 2024. No hay testimonio de víctima en este caso. Hay un plan de responsabilidad para el ofensor, el cual ha sido revisado y demuestra que el ofensor ha completado violencia doméstica. Utilizando el sistema colaborativo estatal de evaluación de juicios del ofensor, SCORES, el puntaje general del ofensor cae dentro del rango alto de riesgo de reincidencia.
Hey, if he's Puerto Rican, he can't be
Mr.
deported.
Guerrero, this is your opportunity to express to the board why you believe you should be granted parole. You may begin.
Puerto Ricans are
Mr. León
U.S.
Guerrero, esta es
citizens.
su oportunidad para expresarle a la Junta por qué piensa se le debe conceder libertad condicional. Puede comenzar.
Puerto
Discúlpame,
Ricans,
¿me puedes repetir? No entendí, no escuché bien.
Puerto
Esta
Ricans
es su
are U.S.
oportunidad para
citizens.
expresarle a la Junta por qué piensa se le debe conceder libertad condicional.
Hey, what up, D? Undeportable.
¿Por qué? Repíteme, discúlpame, porque es que no oigo, no se oye bien lo último que dijiste, perdón.
Esta es tu oportunidad para expresarle a la Junta por qué piensa se le debe conceder libertad condicional.
He sounds Puerto
Bueno,
Rican to me.
Yo he hecho todas mis cosas bien, desde que caí en la cárcel, he cogido los programas que me han dicho, he establecido comunicación con mi familia, he establecido tener un trabajo cuando salga, he hablado con mis padres, con la esposa mía, con mis hijos, he hecho todas mis cosas bien.
Un momento, señor León. I have done what I was supposed to do since I got here. I took the programs that I was supposed to take. I have a job waiting for me outside. I have been in communication with my family. I have spoken to my parents, to my wife. I am doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Continúe.
I would have forgot already. With all that, I wouldn't have been able to repeat it back.
He hecho todas las cosas que tengo que hacer. Sé que hice muchas cosas que no debí de hacer. Incurrí en mucho
He goes that hand movement.
delitos que no debí de incurrir, pero yo no pienso volver de nuevo a esa vida más nada, ya que tengo 2 hijos que dependen de mí, siempre han dependido de mí.
I can't
I
do it.
know that I did a lot of things that I was not supposed to be doing. I committed a lot of crimes, but I will not be doing any of those things ever again because I have 2 children that they depend on me. ¿Sería todo?
Sí.
I don't trust this guy so far. As far as I can throw him. Right, Tia. It's always the
Thank
first word.
you for your opening comments, Mr. Guerrero.
Gracias por su comentario de apertura, señor Guerrero.
Each of us will take turns to ask you questions. And when we're done, we will deliberate and give you our answer.
Cada uno de nosotros nos vamos a tomar el turno de hacerle unas preguntas, luego vamos a darle la decisión en su caso.
Okay, so I'm going to begin with the questions. So, Mr. Guerrero, you have a drug score of 5, which is the highest in DOC, and you have not completed an addiction services program.
Mr. Guerrero, usted tiene un puntaje de drogas nivel 5, el cual es el más alto en el departamento de corrección, y usted no ha completado un programa de adicción de drogas.
Yo llené para que me dieran o tier 2 o voice, pero ellos me pusieron a coger el programa de Domestic Violence y nunca me llamaron para ese otro programa.
I applied to take the tier 2 and the voices program, but they sent me instead to take the domestic violence, and I think they put me on a wait list. They never called me.
Well, domestic violence is also on your OAP.
El programa de violencia doméstica también está en su OAP, en su lista de programas.
Did you? I'm sorry.
Yes, I took the program.
Okay. Did you recently receive a disciplinary report?
¿Usted recibió recientemente un reporte de disciplina?
Things ain't looking good for him.
Yes.
When and for what?
The creep keeper's on his
¿Cuándo y
bumper.
por qué fue?
Eso pasó el jueves pasado, hicieron un registro y encontraron, según ellos, unas cosas en mi cama. Yo le dije que no eran mías, que yo no uso más droga, que me podían sacar las pruebas que quisieran.
Damn.
Me sacaron las pruebas, pero como quiera, salí negativo, pero como quiera, ellos me metieron en la caja por el contrabando.
He got caught with some
Era
drugs.
una batería y un cable y un pen.
It happened last Thursday. They were doing the check and they found some stuff in my bunk. And I told them that it was not mine. I do not use any drugs anymore, that they can test me if they wanted to. They did. It was negative, but I still got the VR for contraband.
Hey, thank you. Welcome back. It's me, Dark Angel.
So these are some pretty serious crimes.
I hate when they find stuff in my bunk that's not mine.
Can you tell me about the arson third?
Señor Guerrero, estos son unos crímenes muy serios. ¿Me podría hablar acerca del crimen del incendio?
Sí, el crimen del incendio, ellos dicen que ellos tenían mi ADN y yo tenía un guarante de ese crimen y cuando fui a ver el caso de violencia doméstica y el caso de robo, pues el de violencia doméstica, en el de robo, pues ya yo había aceptado culpabilidad y ya yo tenía una sentencia por eso. Y mi abogado me recomendó que lo cogiera porque podía ser peor para mí y yo quería pelearlo, pero ella me aconsejó que no peleara porque si no podía ser peor. Yo no quería porque yo sé que yo no era culpable, pero ya yo era culpable del primer caso y de la violencia doméstica.
En un momento, señor Guerrero. Yes, they said that they found my DNA and I had a warrant, outstanding warrant for my cases of domestic violence and for my burglary case, which I took responsibility for those cases. And I was sentenced already for those cases, but then my attorney told me that it was better for me to plead guilty to the arson charge, because if not, I was going to be facing more time in prison, but I didn't want to plead guilty for this case.
Ella dijo que... Okay.
Sorry, go ahead.
Ella dijo que no me iba a afectar, que lo cogiera, que todo se iba a quedar igual, que solamente el caso iba a estar ahí encima de los otros. Y yo pues... me dejé llevar porque yo no sé mucho tampoco.
My lawyer told me that it was going to be okay, that it was not going to make my case worse. He was just going to wrong along with the other cases, and I just follow her advice.
Yeah, so, you know, I don't want to belabor this, Mr. Guerrero, but, you know, I could not, in good conscience, put you out on parole, knowing that you have not completed programs to address your substance abuse, and knowing that you just received a disciplinary report, and that you've only completed domestic violence, which is one of 4 programs on your OAP.
Lo que le puedo decir, señor Guerrero, es que no encuentro cómo yo puedo ponerlo a usted en libertad condicional en el día de hoy de una manera consciente, ya que usted no ha completado programas para abuso de sustancias y recientemente recibió un reporte de disciplina y solamente ha completado un programa en total de su lista de programas, que fue el de violencia doméstica.
Yo tengo en mi OP salía en Methadone Program, pero yo no quiero coger ese programa porque yo veo la metadona como si eso es otra droga y yo no quiero saber de las drogas más nada. Y pues del otro programa, pues yo escribí a ellos para cogerlo. Yo quería tener todo lo suficiente. Escuela, yo tengo 4º año aprobado. Yo tengo mi 4º año aprobado.
When it comes to the methadone program, I didn't want to take it because for me, I see it as if I am just using another drug and I don't want anything to do with drugs anymore. The other programs, I wrote to them, but I didn't hear anything back. And then when it comes to school, I have my high school diploma.
Yes, I'm aware of that. Another concerning thing is that while you were in the community, you were referred to treatment between 2017 and 2022 at least 4 times, and you did not complete any because of lack of attendance.
Otra de mis preocupaciones es que cuando usted estaba fuera en la comunidad, usted fue referido a tratamiento de abuso de sustancias entre el año 2017 al 2022 en al menos 4 ocasiones y usted no lo completó satisfactoriamente por falta de asistencia.
Sí, estuve en el programa de metadona en la calle y no me sentía bien con la metadona, no me sentía bien y decidí no seguir con el programa porque me estaba haciendo daño.
I was in a program for methadone outside in the community, but I decided that I didn't want to keep taking it because I was not feeling good. It was doing more harm to me instead.
Yeah, these programs were at Catholic Charities.
Estos son los programas de Catholic Charities.
So anyway, I have no further questions.
What do you guys think? I don't think they're gonna let him
I
go.
have no follow-up. I
don't
share
see
your
them.
same concerns, Madam Chair, that there's no
way they're gonna let
program
this fool go.
completed, to address his substance use, and the recent more also is the current DRs.
Okay.
Mr. Paul?
I agree.
Okay. So, and you just kind of summed it up for me. The fact that he has such a high drug score and has not been able to complete an addiction services. And more concerning with that is because the 4 times that he was referred to Catholic Charities, it was not for the methadone program. And he did not go to any of the groups that they had there. The fact that he just recently received a disciplinary report is also another factor. And he has had 3 previous failed community releases. So my denial reasons are on probation, inadequate institutional program participation, and poor institutional adjustment. So we're discussing now. So
Yep, there he's locked up. They're gonna let him out. I love the TikTok
What are
I
you-
shop.
agree
Right.
with you, Madam Chair. I mean, I stated that, that I shared your concerns and the reasons for denial as well. He has 10 months to end the sentence. I'm hopeful that he can do a tier program prior to that.
right. So
Ah, wow.
in the case of Edwin Leon Guerrero, I move to deny discretionary parole
One.
for these reasons. Current offense committed on probation. Inadequate institutional program participation. Poor institutional adjustment
He did that to himself.
and inadequate release plan. Do I have a second?
Second,
Excuse me. All in favor?
I.
I vote aye. Motion carries.
Ah, wow.
El hecho de que la haya, no haya completado un programa de drogas de servicio de adicción y que haya sido referido en 4 ocasiones a tratamiento de la comunidad, no de metadona, sino a otro tipo de programa y no atendió los grupos, además de que recientemente recibió un reporte de disciplina, son otros factores por los que no encuentro darle la oportunidad en el día de hoy, además de que tuvo 3 periodos pagos de salida a la comunidad. En el caso de Edwin León Guerrero, número 395902, hace una moción para alegar su salida bajo libertad condicional por las siguientes condiciones: ofensa la cual cometida mientras estaba en libertad provisional, inadecuada participación en programas institucionales, plan de liberación inadecuado y pobre ajuste institucional.
He wasted our time too. What about us?
Edwin Leon Guerrero, number 395902.
Esto concluye la audiencia de León Guerrero, número 395902.
Esto,
You're all set to go. You'll receive a copy of the paperwork in the mail.
Who
Sería
wasted
todo,
our
te va a
time.
recibir una copia de todo este papeleo por el correo.
ok. Todo.
Ay, ay, ay. That's it.
Ok.
Thank you, Liza. Appreciate you staying late. Tara, can we just quickly do the special parole conditions for Mr. Beck?
I just want to tell the girls that
Okay.
assuming he's gonna walk back in, but.
Hey guys, so man, it's been a good run today. Damn, I just did a freaking. Hey, thank you, appreciate that right there, Dulce. I think it is. Highly appreciate it, man. I just did 8.5 hours here, man. I need to do something with my life. This social media thing is consuming my life, if you will. So I gotta get back to reality, man. I just dropped there. Imagine I haven't done anything. The only thing I did was take a shower, brush my teeth, and get dressed. But if you haven't done so, please do so. Hey, hit that follow button. It's free 99. Are you out of your mind? And you know what? Hey, look. To be honest with you guys, I'm not looking for gifts, but what I am looking for is the follows and the shares and whatnot. That's what I'm trying to get to. I'm trying to get to that 10,000 mark so I could go ahead and start creating some videos and whatnot for the creator fund or the creator program or whatever the hell it is. I don't even know what I'm doing over here. No parole for you. You have to stay. Well, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, you know what? I appreciate you guys. Hey, I appreciate that. What is it? Just follow G. I need to get some glasses, some reading glasses. What is it right here? Let me see right here. On this down. Oh, Rene B_6. Gracias, highly appreciate it. So yeah, I got a white follow on YT. Oh yeah, too free collect. If you guys could do me that favor too, follow over on YT. What I'm gonna do right now is I gotta get off, but I'm gonna start the parole board hearing from Connecticut. I'm gonna start it from the beginning. Obviously, we only got the last 3 individuals. What's the YT account? The YT account, if you look, is somewhere up here. It says at CollectCallFrom, but I'll put it here on the screen to make it easier. It's the same thing. It's also on. You go to my profile. It's on my profile links. I make it really, really easy to be able to locate all my other social media accounts. Anyhow, I'm gonna start up the stream from the beginning. If you want to jump on YT to catch it, if not, then that's cool also. But I'll be back tomorrow. All right. Anyways, hey, I am Collect Call James. You are watching. You have a Collect Call From. I missed your live today. Was at work. Ah, man, that's the worst. You are at work and you miss me. That's all bad. Well, I'm gonna go to YT. Thank you. Hey, I appreciate you guys. Hey, all right. I appreciate all you guys. And for you, for those guys that have subscribed, that are paying the what, I don't know if it's like $2.99. You know, I appreciate you guys. I made some little icons and whatnot. I'm gonna try to get some better ones. You know, I just wanted to throw something together because I didn't even know that was an option. But I appreciate you guys. You guys that subscribed. I appreciate you guys that followed. I appreciate you guys that are watching. I appreciate you guys that are lurking. I appreciate you guys that are not interacting. I appreciate everybody. You know, one way or another, you guys are helping. You know, get me into the algorithm and whatnot. Anyhow, hey, I am Collect Call James. You are watching. You have a Collect Call From. Hey, it's Luis Harvey. Luis. Like I said right here, life's like a candle. Once you blow it out, it slices out. And with that, we are out. Rato. I gotta go. Luis Harvey. Ay. I'm gonna transfer you guys over to Minnesota, all right?